Finding happiness often seems like a complicated quest, something reserved for a select few or for special moments. But the truth is, happiness can be simpler than most people imagine. It's not about having a perfect life or achieving all your dreams. In fact, happiness is much more related to how you approach your daily life and the small choices you make. Think of happiness as a muscle. It needs to be worked, exercised daily. And the best part is, it's not difficult. It's easy, actually. Let's start by understanding what happiness really is. Often, it's confused with big achievements, like getting a promotion, buying a new car, or having the perfect relationship. But when you look closely, you realize that happiness isn't just in those big moments. It's in the details. It's in the smile you give when you see a friend, in the satisfaction of completing a task, in the pleasure of a good meal. True happiness comes from these small things that happen every day, and that are often overlooked. Society likes to complicate things. There's constant pressure to strive for more, to never be satisfied with what we have. This mindset makes us believe that happiness is always out of reach, that we need to achieve something bigger, something new. But if we stop and think, happiness is much closer than we imagine. It's in the small daily victories, those that you might not even notice. And here's where the secret starts to reveal itself: happiness is easy to find when you change your perspective. Have you ever taken a moment to celebrate a small victory? That feeling of pleasure when you finish a task, when you complete a goal, no matter how small. That's happiness. And what's more interesting is that by celebrating these small victories, we're training our brains to be happy. We're telling ourselves that life is good, that there are reasons to smile every day. Happiness is in the small achievements, and that's something anyone can attain. Besides small victories, another powerful source of happiness is human connections. Think of the happiest moments in your life. They probably involved other people, right? Friends, family, co-workers. Human interaction is one of the greatest sources of joy. And the best part? You don't need a special occasion to enjoy these connections. A simple, good morning, with a sincere smile, a quick chat with a coworker, a call to a friend you haven't seen in a while. These small moments are sources of happiness that are within your reach every day. And here's a simple practice that can transform your life: gratitude. Yes, being grateful is one of the most powerful ways to find happiness. I'm not talking about superficial gratitude, but really taking the time to reflect on the good things you have in your life. It could be something as simple as the sun shining, a hot cup of coffee in the morning, or even the fact that you're healthy. When you practice gratitude, you change the focus of your mind. Instead of concentrating on what's missing, you start to see what's already present and value it. And the more you practice gratitude, the more reasons you find to be happy. Now, you might be wondering, how do I start finding happiness in my daily life? The answer is simple: start with small practices. One of them is mindfulness, or being present. It might sound complicated, but it's simple. It's just about being in the moment, not getting carried away by worries about the future or regrets about the past. When you're present, you notice things that would normally go unnoticed. The birds singing, the feeling of the wind on your face, the taste of food. These small things bring a sense of peace and satisfaction that are the foundation of happiness. Moreover, it's important that you engage in activities that bring you joy and purpose. Think about the things you like to do. Maybe it's reading a good book, playing a sport, cooking, or even spending time with people you love. When you engage in activities that are meaningful to you, your life gains color, gains meaning. And this naturally leads to happiness. Don't wait for big accomplishments. Find happiness in the small things that make your soul smile. Another crucial point in finding happiness is self-compassion. Often, we are our worst critics. When we make a mistake, we're hard on ourselves, we judge, we punish ourselves. But the truth is, we are all human, and we all make mistakes. Practicing self-compassion means being kind to yourself, especially in difficult moments. It means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend. When you allow yourself to be human, you open up space for happiness. You start to realize that perfection isn't the goal, and that it's okay not to be perfect. Of course, on the journey to finding happiness, there will be obstacles. One of the biggest is unrealistic expectations. Often, we set the bar too high, and when things don't go as planned, we feel frustrated and unhappy. But happiness doesn't depend on meeting unrealistic expectations. It's about accepting reality as it is, with its ups and downs. When you adjust your expectations, you make room to find happiness in what you already have, in what you've already accomplished. Another common obstacle is social comparison. We live in a world where we're constantly comparing our lives to others, especially on social media. But the truth is, comparisons are a trap. They make us feel inferior, inadequate, unsatisfied. The key to happiness is to stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing on you. Each person has their own journey, their own battles. And what matters is what you're doing with your life, not how someone else's life appears to be. So, how do you maintain this happiness in the long term? The answer lies in consistency. The practices we've discussed so far need to be incorporated into your daily life. Happiness isn't a destination that you reach and that's it. It's a continuous practice, a lifestyle. Small practices, like celebrating daily victories, connecting with others, practicing gratitude, being present, doing what you love, and being kind to yourself, are things you can do every day. And the more you do them, the easier it becomes. Another fundamental aspect is how you relate to the world around you. Kindness is one of the most powerful ways to find happiness. When you're kind to others, you not only improve their day but your own as well. There's true joy in helping someone, in doing something good without expecting anything in return. This human connection, this exchange of positive energy, is one of the keys to a happy life. And it doesn't have to be something grand, it can be a smile, a word of encouragement, a small gesture that makes someone feel valued. And speaking of connection, we can't forget the importance of being present. We live in a world full of distractions, where it's easy to get lost in the past or worry about the future. But happiness is here, now, in this moment. Being present means really living in the moment, paying attention to what's happening around you, to the people who are with you, to the emotions you're feeling. It's a practice that, when developed, can completely transform your life experience. Self-compassion also plays a vital role. Often, we're our harshest critics, demanding perfection in everything we do. But what if, instead, you treated yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend? What if, instead of punishing yourself for mistakes, you saw them as opportunities for growth? Self-compassion isn't about being indulgent with yourself, but about recognizing that we are all human, that we all make mistakes, and that it's okay. When you allow yourself to be human, you free yourself from the burden of perfection and open up space for true happiness. Finally, it's important to remember that happiness isn't something you find and keep forever. It's a daily practice, a continuous choice. Every day is a new opportunity to be happy, to choose to see the bright side, to be grateful, to connect with others. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Happiness stops being a distant goal and becomes an integral part of your life. So, along this journey, remember that happiness isn't complicated. It's not in extraordinary or unattainable things. It's in the small choices you make every day, in the way you see the world, in how you treat yourself and others. Finding happiness is easy, actually. And the key is in living in the present, in valuing what you already have, in being kind and grateful. With these simple practices, you can transform your life and discover that happiness has been within your reach all along. You just need to allow yourself to see it. And as you allow yourself to see it, you start to notice how the little things that often go unnoticed are, in fact, great sources of happiness. The cool breeze on your face, the sound of rain falling, a friend's laughter, the comfortable silence of a solitary moment. These small details, when appreciated, become the building blocks of a happier and more fulfilled life. One of the biggest secrets to this easily attainable happiness is simplicity. Modern life can be incredibly complex, full of commitments, responsibilities, and distractions. But often, happiness is found in simplifying. Think about how children find joy in the simplest things: a game, a playful moment, a sincere conversation. They live in the moment, without worrying about what comes next. This simplicity is something we can learn and apply in our own lives. Moreover, remember that happiness doesn't need to be constantly pursued or chased. Sometimes, it arises naturally when you stop looking for it in complicated places. When you stop thinking of happiness as a final destination and start seeing it as something that can be lived in each moment, you realize that it's closer than you imagined. And if, at some point, you feel like happiness is slipping through your fingers, don't worry. Life has its ups and downs, and it's part of the process to have tougher days. In those moments, return to the basics. Remember the simple practices we discussed: gratitude, presence, human connection, self-compassion. These are your tools to rediscover happiness, even on the most challenging days. Happiness isn't something you should achieve with constant effort or perfection. It's a series of small choices, made every day, that add up to something much bigger. It's a continuous journey, where each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to a fuller and happier life. When you start applying these ideas to your life, you may notice a gradual but powerful shift. Things that once seemed difficult now seem lighter. Challenges that once felt like mountains now become hills. And more importantly, you begin to see that happiness, that true and lasting happiness, is much closer and more accessible than you thought. So, believe me, finding happiness is easy, actually. It's in your hands, in your choices, in your daily thoughts. And by adopting a simpler, more grateful, and present perspective, you'll be setting yourself up for a life filled with happy moments, where every day is a new opportunity to smile and feel good. And in the end, that's what really matters. Happiness isn't a mystery, it's not something distant. It's present, within your reach, every day. And the most surprising thing? Finding happiness is easy, actually. It's in the small things, in the simple practices, in the daily choices we make. And when you realize this, when you start applying these practices, your life begins to change. Not all at once, but gradually, day by day. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. And this journey, if you allow it, can be the most rewarding of your life. So, take a moment and reflect. What are the little things you can start appreciating more in your daily life? What can you simplify in your life to make more room for happiness? And most importantly, how can you apply these simple practices to find the happiness that's already within your reach? Leave your answers in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're bringing more happiness into your life. And if you found this content helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to get updates on future videos, and share this video with someone who might benefit from these ideas. Let's spread more happiness together and make everyone's life a little lighter and more fulfilling. See you in the next video.